So where does this... There's this guy. Oh. Hey everybody, welcome back. Dulos here. In this part 3 of this video series, I'm going to be swapping out the shifter from the console shifter to the column shifter in the RAM. So we're going to change a cable. We're going to change a bunch of brackets and scratch our heads and figure out which wire goes where. But hopefully this will help you in the whole process from going from a console shifter with a center console to a column shifter with a jump seat, or back the other way. If you just have the jump seat and you want to put the console in, you can watch all these videos, check out all the steps, and it's literally just in reverse. If you look in the description below, there's links to there's a link to a forum post, and then there's a description of all the parts. The forum post has some of the part numbers. I didn't want to put them in there just in case they're wrong for your application, but at least you can look up exactly what part you need. Alright, so without further ado, let's get to the video. While I'm over here by the steering column, I'm going to take out these 3 T20, I believe they are. These outer 2 came out fine, but of course, this guy, this hole is too narrow for my extension driver. Alright folks, so to get that last one, you're going to need a really long and thin T20, so I'm going to go to the store later and check it out. The forum online said you had to tap those holes, and those holes look tapped, and there is a column there, so I should just be able to take the bracket off and screw it on there. So I think we're looking good right now. So I ended up having to get a T20 torque screwdriver. I ended up having to buy 4 of them in a set, but I was able to get the lower cowl off, and I started getting the new column shifter on there with came off the old one, no problem. T25 Torx bolts, 3 of them, and then the new one just goes back on, but as you can see, it's a little harder to get it on the column, and the column is behind these dash pieces, so I'm going to try and crawl up under there and get them on there. So you can see under here, you got one back here, and then another one right here. So back here, and right here. And there's another one on top, and whoo, there's no room. So this little guy came in handy, and these guys did not want to go in. It's threaded, but I wouldn't do this too many times. You might strip them out. And then I had to pop this guy out. So let's put that back in. Hopefully that'll stay. That should be good. You see, here's the cable. It actually came out of this clip. I gave myself a little more room to work. This is for the shifter. So we'll take this out and we'll put in the cable for this guy. See if we can thread it through. See if I can thread it through. There's only one, not we. You see let's see if I can see from up here. Oh yeah, the other bolt is back here. So it looks like this guy just simply came off by lifting this little tab and pulling it off. And then I was nervous about breaking this, but once I had it off, I get it at an angle, and it popped right off there. And then let's see how this threads through. Just comes through there. All right. This is actually between. Well, that's my brake loom. That's why. Let's hope I can get it through there. It goes through the firewall. So you can see it back there, right down there, below the steering shaft, or lower than the steering shaft. But here, let's see, it's right there. See it? Yeah. So I'll try and pull that out. So you can see the cables are definitely a little bit different in how they hook up. But if you look on the shifter, you can just press this pink one and you can move it. You can see that all the way in is park, and all the way pulled out is low gear. Same reaction for this one because the output has to be the same. This piece needs to stick in somewhere, and it's on this bracket right here. So you're going to want to pull that off of one at a junkyard or something. I think seeing all this now, I probably just go to a junkyard and get all these parts for much cheaper. Oh well, live and learn. These did not want to go on. I was using the impact, take them on and off. But this guy looks like another clip. This didn't come on. steering column I have now. So you could just do this as a zip tie or something, but this just kept the cable out of the way for the console shifter. And this is for right here. Alright, so the bracket's installed. Got the cable going through it. So now you can see the column shifter moves and it pulls the cable. Let's get that back into park. So where does this... There's this guy. Oh. This is the harness that connects to the console shifter. And you can see there's a lot of wires on here. This is obviously just a light. We see the ones that are pertinent to us is there's a sensor in here, 2-wire sensor for when you have it. In manual mode, you can go back and forth to lower or higher gear. Now that's what's replicated up here on the column shifter, those buttons, and that's only 2-wire, which is what that is. So there's a bunch of extra wires on this harness, 2 being power, and then it looks like we've got 4 more. And those 4 other ones go back to some sort of, looks like some sort of switch. This one is going to plug into here, and I'll find a better place to mount it. I was looking at it a little bit more, like what could it be? And at least 2 of the wires, it's a position sensor, so it fires this so you can take it out of park, I assume, if you got the brake pressed, or if it's ignition lockout, basically. So I guess we don't need that for the column shifter. We'll see how that all works. So I mean, the column shifter's obviously got this guy on it, right? Got this lever. And it goes in here. Is there a... Ooh, there is. This guy needs power. So... That is interesting. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. So, looks like I'm not going to put all this back together just yet. Well, it looks like this guy right here, this extension, is clipped in down here. And this guy's got a couple things going on. So I'm hoping that Chrysler is smart enough to split those. So I'm going to take this off and see what these harnesses look like. So it looks like they've got this guy dangled up and taped up and unused. And then this guy is an extension down here. And what does this guy go to? This guy's this one. So I think we're going to be good. Might just have to... I think we're going to be good. Hopefully they were smart enough to just use extensions. This is the extension harness, and it's like hooked back up through under here, and this part comes down into the console shifter. But this one fits. This one fits up here fine. And this was one that plugged into the gray part of the extension. And then this guy plugged into the white part of the extension. So my only concern is that this one had 4 wires and this one only has 2. So I'm hoping that the other 2 are only needed for the other 2 were only needed for the console shifter and not for this guy. So we'll see what happens. But now I'm going to try and get under the car, and I got the e-brake on, so it's not going anywhere. I know it's in park, and I'm not on a hill. So we'll see where it's connected underneath. Alright, so I'm under the driver's side. You can see there's the connection point for the trans. Lever's pushed all the way back. And then it fits through that bracket. Now I have a different bracket. I don't know if it's different, but I bought another bracket because I was told to for there, because this cable might need a separate bracket. So let's just try and get this guy off and out of here, and then we'll get it out of the truck and see how the next one fits down here, or maybe see if it doesn't fit. Hoping I can do this without having to take off this drive shaft and just get my fingers back there. Well, I got it off. And just pry this. I just stuck both hands up behind the drive shaft, got some fingers on it, and tried to pull evenly from here and here so I'm not breaking it. And this one, I just looked at the other one, and it's got these little silver tabs, so just push them in and it gently came out. And then there's a, I don't know if you can see on the video, there's a clip up here on the side of the trans. There's a clip up here on the side of the trans that this that the wire goes through, or the cable goes through. And then over here on the brake lines, there's also another clip for the cable to go in. So it's really just cable management. So I'm going to get off from under here and try and get this up there. And I tell you, having the 2-inch leveling kit on the front really makes it easy to get under here before. I couldn't get under here this easily without it before. Alright, so I'm going to get this cable out from this way. It's not pulling anything. And try and push it back through the firewall. So that grommet's not going to let it. That grommet's not going to let it come out the other way, I don't think. And we'll fish the other one back through the way we came. Come on. All right. Easier said than done. Fish this cable. There we go. There we go. The old shift cable out. And I am really glad I took the driver's seat out because this would have been a real pain otherwise. Alright. Yeah, that cable definitely is longer. It's got longer to travel. Alright, so I gotta get a bucket, a big bin for all this, and then put it in storage. It's getting sliced up today, but I guess I can wear these gloves. Trying to preserve my fine motor skills with out wearing gloves, but at least the cloth gloves. So I'm gonna try with these nitrile gloves and see if it keeps me from getting more cuts. You know, gotta keep up my hand model career. So it's gonna feed through the new console shifter cable. Tricky part is getting this grommet to seat. I'd gone in the engine bay to kind of wrap the cable down. Alright, I think I got in there. Pushed a little too hard with a screwdriver on point, put a hole in it, but it's fine. So don't push too hard with a screwdriver. Try and just pull it through and see if it seats. New cable's routed. Got it hooked up on the cable management up there on the brake lines. The metal heat shield is by the exhaust. And then I didn't have to change this clip. I didn't think so. When I was buying it, I kind of felt like, why would it need a new clip? So I could probably save myself $10 or $15 right there. But that fits in nice and snug. There's a little, yeah, that's fine. And then got the new end attached to the transmission. So I don't have the seats in the car yet, but I guess I could go test it and see how it goes. So it's about to get cold in here as I block my license plate. As I open the door on a beautiful day out there. But let's see if we get any error codes or anything like that. So I got the e-brake on. I got wheel chocks, so I can always hit the stuff when I put the wheel down. Showing park. Let's see if we can shift this. Put the camera down for a minute. Well, it goes park, reverse, neutral, but it won't go into drive. Maybe that's because the car's off. It should still go though. It's making a weird click. Maybe there's something up with it. Alright, well, park, reverse, neutral work, but it won't go into drive. So I'm gonna assume I just got something up with the cable binding, so I'm gonna look at that. So I spoke too soon. Both of those brackets were needed to get it in the right spot. I needed I think 2 13s to get the big U bracket off, and then a 10 to get the actual connector off that goes from the transmission cog to the actual cable. So now it shifts, totally fine. What do I know? So I'm glad I got those parts. You are gonna need all of them. So this sits up on the tranny like this, and then the cable goes through. And the other one, I think this is a little bit angled different. This sits up a little bit higher. And then this guy attaches on the transmission, parks all the way in the back, drives all the way that way. This one is a little bit longer. The other one's up a little bit. So those little angle differences and little distance differences were all it took. I don't know why it had to be that way. It's like, could they make the cable slightly different? I don't know. I mean, I guess I have no idea, but it seems like it's overly complicated to me. So now I'm going to put the new cowl on. I mean, part of me, I guess, can always do it different. But the cowl, here, let me show it to you if I have it. Where is it? Yeah, I put it in here. This one is a little faded. And it's not too bad. A little Armor All might fix it. I could always put a coat of paint on it. But I just don't know that I'll ever put the truck back. This one's obviously the same. I'm just wondering if I just cut there, because if I do use this one and I cut it, it doesn't have to be the cleanest line. If you can see, there's this edge where the grommet goes. So if I even just get a rough cut on here, I don't know. I'm gonna put this one on, see how it looks, and then I can always paint it or cut the brown one. Yeah, you know, it's so ratty looking, and it doesn't match. I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and cut the brown one. Well, I decided to cut the brown one. I've got it taped up and kind of roughed in where to cut. So I'm gonna put it in the vise. And all right, I think I got it. That took a lot of dremeling and filing and test fitting. I did add an overshooting on the bottom a little bit. I think I could probably, and back, looks like I overshot on the bottom a little bit, and then up here a little bit too, but at least I think from driving position, really not going to see much. But at least it's brown. Looks fine when you climb in. And the 10-foot angle, not too bad. It looks a little mangled. I'll bet you if I clean up this angle a little bit that it'll sit a little better. I filed that edge off, and while not perfect, it does sit a lot better now. And you're just seeing the junk on the bottom, on the back a little bit. It is what it is. I guess if I cared more, it would take a little more time. I always feel rushed with these things. It's kind of interesting, like column shifting now. So, moment of truth seemed to work before. Let's see if it works now. Just because I got to back out and stuff, I will shoot a little video in a minute when I get back. Well, I know it's 41 degrees in the garage, so that's good to know. Well, I just had to jimmy it through the gears to maneuver my way out of the garage. Show you park. Park is fine. So we'll put it in reverse. No reverse lights on right now. Reverse lights are on. See in the rearview mirrors, we got reverse lights. Car backs up. Put it in neutral. Nothing. Let's go all the way back. Let's reverse and then we'll talk about. Oh, there's a deer over there. Let's see the deer. Wow. What are you doing back behind my propane? You're gonna explode it. I'm happy to report everything works. Drove around the block to get the mail, it was fine, and now I can shift up. Let's see. Five speeds and off. And we're good there. So just have to do the painting of the console, and then I don't know, figure out if I'm gonna do the buckets or not. See if I'm gonna try and clean them up, get some plastic restore or something, and then gotta wait for the seat to come back in, and hopefully that'll be this week. And what else? I gotta rewire a dash cam, check the radio, but you don't care about that. And maybe I'll film and make a video, but if you're watching for this, it doesn't matter. All right, so I hope this helped. If it did, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that YouTube stuff. Stay tuned for more episodes in the series where I'll put the seats back in, put the center console in, refinish the fascia, and get it all going. You know, obviously it's been done for a little while now by the time I'm editing it, but so far it's been fantastic. I love it. I think it turned out great, and you know, I'm glad I did it. You know, if you can't get a new truck and you need the space, or you want to upgrade your truck that has the space and you don't need it, totally worth it if you can get the parts, especially at a junkyard or on eBay and you're not paying retail for these things. It's absolutely worth it. And I think the biggest hurdle was just trying to figure it out. Actually doing it is pretty simple. So hopefully this video series will help you do that. But may God bless you and keep standing up for what's right.